Hi everyone, my name is Maria. Welcome to my Facebook group, Creative Inner Healing. As promised, today is my first ever Facebook Live in this group. I've only ever done Facebook Live like once or twice in my life, so bear with me because it's new for me. So I thought I would tell you a little bit about my wellness journey and why I created this place, this space, this group. And I'll show you some of my therapeutic art projects. And then finally we will get around to creating a very basic sand Zen garden to use for meditative relaxation and stress relief purposes. So again, my name is Maria and I am a teacher. I have been teaching for 30 years, various subjects, but mostly languages. And now I am on a wellness teaching journey for the last few years. And that came about because several years ago, I got back into making art and I really loved it. And I would stay up late at night just finishing art pieces for fun. And I started selling some of them at craft fairs and online. I did that for a couple of years. And I think I started noticing in my later 40s that I was a little bit not, like I would say, not satisfied with my career field. It had gone sort of down after COVID. And so I had that restlessness inside of me while I was doing art. And I wanted to make a way for a new path for myself. And it just so happens at the same time, around the same time, my husband got sent away or, sent on a mission or, and deployed with the Army for a year. And to me, in my mind, a year felt like somebody just, I don't know, bulldozed over me because, I don't know, we're a team. We do things together. We take care of our kids together. We run errands. We share the responsibilities. And he had been gone 6 or so months at a time before. But for some reason, 6 months seemed more manageable versus 1 year. But it's also, to be fair and to give myself more grace, I was already going through full-blown menopause when this happened. So my hormones were not able to handle that amount of stress. So I started searching for ways to use my art that I had gotten so into, like creating things, for the purpose of healing any kind of stress that I had during this 1 year, and also to calm myself down and, put myself back in a better place. So that's when I started learning about different types of art practices that calm and center and let you sit with your thoughts. So I've been doing that for the past 3 years. And I've also been teaching classes locally and online. So what that does is that leads me to looking for other ways to do the same thing. And so most recently I became certified in teaching Qigong, which is the umbrella under which Tai Chi is practiced. And they're both based in martial arts forms, but Qigong focuses on the meditative aspect. Well, Tai Chi does too, but Qigong can be done in a more flexible way with various poses and other elements added in, whereas Tai Chi is very structured. It's like 18 or 24 movements, one after another. But I got certified in Qigong because I wanted an expressive way to share silent meditation, yet having the movement, because I'm very expressive with that. Anyway, it turns out that it's also another way to get into that zone to make art. So it's a perfect opener for art. Gets you very still and very centered in the moment. And so, yeah, looking again for more ways to reduce anxiety, get into the feelings, the emotions that cause the anxiety, and to dissolve that anxiety. So there's, like I said, Qigong, neurographic art, intuitive painting, therapeutic art, which for me includes journaling and such. And so there are many modalities that can bring you into that space. And today I wanted to talk to you about Zen sand gardens. And I'm going to show you just a very easy way to make a Zen sand garden with very few items. And I'm going to turn my camera around to face my craft table, and you can see exactly what to do. And the things you're going to need very basically here, I'm going to show you how to put it together. And then as I'm raking the sand, which is very relaxing even to just watch that. So if you ever look on YouTube, you can see videos of people raking sand and in a sand, garden, and it's just so relaxing. Anyway, but an easy, simple, cheap way to do it is to just get a canvas. So this is an 8x10 canvas from the Dollar Tree. And I think, it says right here, $1.25, because it's not $1 anymore, but $1.25. Anyway, this will hold the sand. And then these rakes you can get on AliExpress for like a pack of them for $3-4. Or if you don't have that, you can use a plastic fork, which I usually have over here somewhere. But anyway, you can, if you don't have a little rake, these are just little wooden rakes, you can get a plastic fork. Then the last thing you're gonna need is some sand. Honestly, any kind of sand. This is just one that I had ready. And this I got from Michael's, I don't even know what it says, decorative filler. It's a little bit coarser than fine sand, but whatever you have is fine. So that's basically it. Now I'm going to turn the camera around and get that started. When I turn my camera around, you're gonna see my most recent art journal that I started. And I just wanted to show that to you as something just to give you an idea of like what I do on my free time when I'm not teaching classes and doing other things is I work in art journals. It's a really great way to every day have something to come to, because if you have a book that you dedicate just to doing some art in, and it's just for you, then you can always look back at what you've been doing and say, oh yeah, I remember when I did that. Oh, I really love that. And you can look at the different shapes and colors you worked with or materials you used. And I just figured, since I'm here and I have your attention, then I will show you my most recent book. So I'll turn the camera around, then we'll put the sand in the garden, and then as I'm raking the sand, you can just watch me do that, and I'll be reading you some of the benefits of using a Zen sand garden. All right, so I'm going to turn my camera around now. Just bear with me a minute. Okay. Yeah, so like I said, the pages are just me playing around with different materials. And I believe here I was just using watercolor paints and honestly, using a thin brush and making little lines and blobbing and making some circles. Then I went over it with some gold paint. Okay, this one was a 2-page spread that had to also used watercolors, but different watercolors. They're really vibrant. And after I did some watercolor designs, like kind of mandalas on this side and this side, then I went through with all kinds of little shapes with, I think I used a sponge dauber that was circular, and I made these circular, dipped them in watercolor, made these circles. Looks like planets. I feel like I'm looking at planets here. So anyway, that was just really fun. And then after I did that, I went in with, it's probably some more watercolors. Then I did markers. Here I used a fan brush for a design, which I love the movement of the fan brush. I never used to use fan brushes, but now I love them. Finally, I went in with markers to make like designs within the designs. I think I mostly, like here I have a blue marker, but mostly I used gold. It's gold and silver, and also white. Gold, silver, and white. And black also, because those are highlights. All right, this page here, I did a little bit of a therapeutic art page. I did watercolors, sort of representing a bouquet of flowers. And then I used some kind of a foil on top, and you have to use a special kind of glue, tacky glue, and then when it dries, you put foil on it. I also went over with different metallics to make things pop. But I wrote here, embrace what is here now, hug it, love it, be kind to yourself, and show yourself compassion. You're the one who needs your love and care the most. Way to go, you're amazing. So one of the purposes of doing classes is to encourage people. That's what I'm here for, to be your cheerleader, to open that space for you so that you can give yourself that compassion and love that you need. We all need it. This was just super fun. I don't know what I did. I just kept layering and layering and layering. Lots of watercolors and markers on this one. This one, again, I used foil on top of watercolors and then some gold marker here. And this one I just did today, completed. This one is, again, different types of watercolors, silver foil on top, and then markers on top. White for like a lotus. I'm going to be subbing for Qigong tomorrow and talk about the lotus flower and how resilient it is in its growth. I have some vines just like on this page. I like to draw vines. This looks like a flower over here too that I made. So I like these floral patterns as well. That's all I have so far in this book. And this is probably my 7th or 8th journal. I have all different sizes. Now let's move on to making the Sand Zen Garden. It's going to be fun. Very easy, very, very easy. Honestly, all you do is open up your canvas. There. I'm going to have to find a plastic fork just to show you that you can also do that easily with a plastic fork. And now I have one. Periodically, I clean up my craft table and then I get it messy again. So, right. I might have to go, oh, here it is. Now that's a spoon. I have a plastic spoon. Maybe you can use that. No, I've got to get a plastic fork. So just give me 1 second. I have to go inside and get it. Be right back. Okay, I'm back. I had to go get the plastic fork because I had to show you, you know, how similarly you can use either one of those. So basically what you're going to do is pour sand into the canvas. And when you're done, you're going to just pour it onto a piece of paper and put it back in your jar. If you want to. Like if you don't want to keep it in here. But basically, you know, fill it up to where you have enough in there. Might have to use all of it that I have. Just kind of make sure that I have enough in here to work with. That's what I want to do. I believe I do. I believe I have enough in here to work with. So that's good. All right. And so if you have a little rake, the little rake can be used, the back of the rake can be used to smooth out any bumps that you have. I suppose with the spoon, yes. So if you don't have a rake, you can use a plastic spoon. There you go, fork and spoon, do the same thing. Okay, there. All right, so we'll zoom in just a little bit more. And as I'm raking, I'm going to read to you what exactly a Zen garden is and what are its benefits. So I'm just going to be doing straight lines. And the straight lines promote organization, stillness, calmness, and a release from thinking. So that's all I'm going to do while I read to you. So let's see if I can multitask. So Zen gardens are also known as Japanese rock gardens. And they're usually miniature landscapes, and you can put other things into your garden, you know, rocks and crystals, rocks, little trees. There are various kits you can buy as well. All right, here's a gemstone rock that I bought a long time ago. But, you know, that's if you want to go around your pieces that you have in there. You can play with that as well. Anyway, they're not meant for necessarily like, you know, getting a project done or anything. You're not completing a project. It's a meditative practice. As you rake your Zen sand garden, the raking represents water flowing. So you can imagine that you're doing this in the water, and the water's trickling. The water is trickling between your fingers. But yes, the sand represents water, and the movement that you do with your rake or your fork is representative of calm. So the straight lines represent calm and peace, and the curved lines, you know, so anything that you do that's curvy represent movement and energy and movement. So you may want to calm yourself by slowly watching your sand as it gets raked. I actually think I prefer the fork. I like the way it looks with the fork. And then you slow your breath down, and let's see what else. So The act of working in a Zen sand garden is the act of restoring peace and harmony to your mind and body. It's a very simple practice. But if you search up on YouTube, there are people who do intricate Zen sand garden designs with big, huge rakes. There's a woman who has her own channel, and I'm telling you, I can watch that for hours. So this practice brings you to the present moment, just like art does, because you're concentrating, you're focusing on being here, working in this practice. The health benefits are lowered heart rate and lowered blood pressure. So the very careful movement of the sand is very good for your regulating your nervous system, calming down that heartbeat, lowering blood pressure. Like I said, the straight lines promote order and peace and clarity of mind. So when you're doing this by yourself, you put your peaceful, relaxing Zen music on. I have some Zen Tai Chi music on, Amazon Music playing in the background, but very low, at a low volume. It says even just a few minutes a day can have a significant impact on reducing stress. So your stress hormone levels, the cortisol in your body, will release or reduce. Release tension, reduce cortisol levels. So it's another way of getting into a zone, you know? So you can think to yourself, and it's also creative inspiration for art, because you can make shapes in the sand that you're like, oh, I would like to do that in my art as well, you know? The side of this also makes little dots in the sand. So it kind of looks like footprints, even though it's supposed to be representing water. To me, if I am walking in the sand, it looks like footprints. Right. So what else could I tell you about it? So the goal is inner peace, and that's my goal with doing art. And that's what I help people do, is reach the state of inner peace to where nothing bothers you. And when something comes up that causes an emotional reaction, feels like it's going to bother you, you can much more easily release the emotion behind something, a thought, a worry. You can release the emotion in many ways. One of the ways, like I said, is doing meditation and a meditative practice, such as this sand Zen garden, also doing art, but it's leading back again to more love for yourself, for releasing yourself as much as you possibly can from external stress. So I forgot to mention that it says here that the rocks symbolize mountains, islands, or even abstract concepts like strength and endurance. So apparently, if you get further along in this journey of understanding the placement of things, there are ways to understand that where you place your rocks has like it's sort of like that concept of feng shui, but it's it's like the where you place it in your garden can give you the sense of balance and harmony. Now, I haven't really played around with it. Like I said, I just had this sitting around. But if you have crystals or rocks or anything, smooth river stones, you could play around with it. You could get a bigger size canvas as well, you know. So, like I said, if I go online and I want to order my own Zen sand garden, it'll cost me probably $30, $40 or more. Whereas for just whatever it costs for the sand, which might be $5, I think at the Dollar Tree you can also get packets of sand. So you might be able to do it for under $5, $1.25 for this 8x10 canvas. And see if you have any rocks outside in your garden. Plastic fork, plastic spoon, or a pack of these rakes from AliExpress or any other Chinese marketplace that I found them on, but you can probably find on another one. And again, it says here that daily practice can give you big benefits. So now that I made this for myself, I'm going to use it because I haven't made one. This was the first time. And anyway, I welcome your comments about this tutorial. And again, I'm going to turn my camera back around, point it to myself, and see if I can do that here. All right, thank you for joining me today. Just as a little heads up for a class I have coming up online, I have on Monday, September 22nd, is one of my higher self art workshops. It's from 9 a.m. to 10:30 Arizona time. If you're on the East Coast, that's 12 to 1:30. And in this class, we only need to have some watercolor paper, some watercolors, watercolor paints, or watercolor pens. And we go on the journey of, again, relaxation, meditation, some Qigong, calming the nervous system to get ready to make art. But the art is going to be for a purpose. It's going to be to guide us into whatever internal landscape inside of us that we want to be calm and to be resolving any emotions that we need resolving. So it's emotional regulation. We journal about issues, topics in our life currently. You know, we're humans, we're always changing. Life is always changing for us. So there's always something we can write about that once we get into the calm meditative state, as we contemplate, you know, it's something that will come up within you. So again, that's on my website, Monday, September 22nd, Higher Self Art, for an hour and a half. Okay, and thank you for joining me today, and I look forward to talking to you soon. One last thing is, if I can manage to put it up tomorrow, I would like to do a video showing you how the Japanese Zen sand garden can also be an inspiration in art. And I'll show you a technique using a fan brush. So I'll do that tomorrow and post it to this group. Hope to see you there. Take care. Bye-bye.